Dragon Age Q&A. We're going to talk about probably spoiler stuff. So if you're avoiding spoilers, I will not stop talking all the time. So any thoughts on why all the other Evanuris lost touch with their personhood except for Solus?
I mean, is he in touch? Is the question. He's losing it.
Young Solus clip made me wonder about this. See, okay, to go into technicalities, that's what I do. So Solus is given the name Fen'Harel by the Evanuris once he starts his rebellion, according to what Solus says. So he was always against them, if that makes sense. So when he was Fen'Harel, Solus might have been working with them at one point, but Fen'Harel was the name that was gave to him as an insult that he took as a badge of honor. So he was always like that. Why the rest of... I have a weird theory based on the... Mythal knows the password to Fen'Harel's sanctuary, because that's why you can use the Well of Sorrows to get in. And then on the 3 buildings at Fen'Harel Sanctuary and Trespasser, one of them has a leafless tree on the top of it, one of them has an archer, and one of them has an owl. And I always thought it might be that Mythal, Andriel, and Falandin, because those symbols are related to those, might have been helping him and just got even more corrupted over time. So that was my thinking, that there's a possibility that they weren't always against him, but they just eventually all turned. I don't know. What do you think, Andy?
Yeah, I was slightly distracted reading the chat at the end. I'm very bad at multitasking, but I think, I guess my first question is, it kind of feels like Solus might be losing his personhood a bit right now. I think we're oh, okay. I'm bigger now.
While you're talking. We'll just switch.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think it's a question of what's happening with Solus's personhood right now. I think that's kind of he's definitely losing it in his attempt to repair all the damage he's caused. He's at risk of losing his personhood. I'm just trying to look back at the question because it was a really good question. Yeah, the other Evanuris lost touch with their personhood. I would say it's like the losing yourself in the quest for power or opportunity. That's probably the theme. And I think Solus is still vulnerable to that too. But his journey will have irony in it because he was very much against what all the other Evanuris were doing. But now he's kind of falling into the same trap and he's repeating a lot of their actions, even though he's very much against what they do, if that makes sense. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've said a few times on my channel that I think that Solus and Fen'Harel are kind of like 2 roles, and he's kind of shed that personhood of Solus to focus on being that Fen'Harel, which is more of like the Inquisitor title, and he's kind of shed that personhood of Solus to focus on being that Fen'Harel, which is more of like the Inquisitor title. Like, he isn't even being himself anymore. I just want to see his nerdy little self and not this man, because I always think it's really interesting that on the card, the Dreadwolf is kind of looming over him on the last card, but but on his original card, it doesn't have the Dreadwolf at all, because it's Solus who we're talking to. That is more what he is. But by the time we get to Trespasser, and he is Fen'Harel. He's not that person anymore, and he has lost a lot of his personhood. But yeah, that was a really good question. Thanks.
Yeah, that was great.
Thanks, Faith. Okay, I think. What do you guys think is going on with the new looking Darkspawn, and as they don't seem to have armor? I know some things that Gil was playing with them, so they look more red and shiny now, and because she had a lab where she was playing with different types of lyrium, so I think that she has been giving them more arms and armor. So I think there's a clip of an ogre with a big like red lyrium kind of axe, like that apparently has been Gil like making weapons which are more like lyrium based and worse than before. But I do think that it's kind of also the artistic design that they've gone with to make it a little bit more, I don't want to call it cartoony, but it's less realistic or hyper realistic. It's more thingy. But yeah, Gil is the reason that things are more red. Oh, Andy, the live has paused. You back?
Yeah, something's stuck. Can you hear and see me still?
I can hear and see you now.
Okay, yeah, it's stuck on, I hit the comments and it won't let
If you
me.
slide it a different way, I don't know.
Yeah, I typed something and it backed me out. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But hi,
okay.
Octarine Cat. I saw Octarine Cat in here and I did want to say hi.
Hi, Octarine Cat. Hi, lots of people. Did you have any thoughts about the weapons that for the or the look of the new Darkspawn?
Any thoughts on the weapons for the new Darkspawn?
Yeah, just the look of the new Darkspawn.
Oh, yeah, just the look of the new Darkspawn. Thank you. See, I multitasking.
Okay.
I'm like,
don't worry, this is fine. We're okay.
Yeah, the look of the new Darkspawn. I really like the look of the new Darkspawn. I like that they look a little more organic and monstery, and I think everything Sarah said is accurate. It's Gillinane and her tampering.
It's like Gillinane or Mythal. They're the two people to blame.
Yeah, it's all them. It's all their fault. So.
Okay, we have got other questions that people did ask from the thing, but while people are here, I kind of want to answer your questions. So if you did ask us a question before on a comment, put it in on a post, put it in here, and then we do the right things. I could have said that better. Anyway, do you think we'll see Solas's memories of Mythal? Yes. Really hope so. I think we've already seen something of one of them with the mural. So I'm expecting. Go on, I'll make myself bigger. I don't know what I'm doing. There we go.
You're doing great. You're doing amazing.
I'm trying to switch between. Okay. Mythal, yes, I think that we will see the murals that we've already been released. Spoilers. Keep playing it now. Does show Mythal, and in that, even though we didn't hear her talk, if you looked at the screenshot, it had her say "and wisdom" when she stood next to Algernon. So she's clearly in that scene. They've just cut the bit where Mythal was talking. Clearly stood next to him. Sure, there's no ulterior motive, and she's just doing it to help people. Not suspicious of her at all. But yeah, I really hope we see the death of Mythal as a memory as well, because that was such an integral part to Solas's story that I am desperate to see it. Have you got any other Mythal things, memories and stuff you'd want to see?
Definitely, I really want to know what happened with that assassination. Like, I am dying to know all of the circumstances and Solas's involvement.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's gonna be really impactful. Like, how he was involved or not involved, what exactly the circumstances were. That's going to tell us a lot. So that's the thing I'm most excited for, to learn about Mythal. Also learning about if Mythal has any more ulterior motives or some bigger plans she's been working on. What's driving her besides vengeance? Yeah, that's what I'm interested in.
100%. Let me see what else we have.
Thanks,
Sorry.
Cassie.
We've got lots of questions. This is really wonderful. Thank you, guys. Thanks for coming in. I'm now scrolling to find things. I wish the chat would remember where I was.
I know. Yeah, Azzy had a good one.
Okay.
Hi, Azzy. Sorry, I didn't say hi to you earlier.
Okay, where we go? Okay, not super VEILGUARD related, but what do you think of? Yes, thank you. Yes, the blood magic fade based question. So, do you think about blood magic and the connection to the fade? Because mana and magic. I have this written down on my computer, and it's gone entire. Oh, let me read it again. Dreams are a connection to the fade. Connection and magic. Connection and mana equals magic. Does everyone have a potential to be a mage? Can anyone learn blood magic, as blood magic replaces mana and fade? I have got thoughts if you haven't. Do you want me to talk?
Yeah, no, please. Sorry, I'm just like standing here.
You're okay.
Please take it. You're the lore master. You are the lore master, so please go first.
Based on Dragon Age Origins, when you learn blood magic through Connor's quest, that you have to... Mages, it seems, can interact with the Fade differently to everyone else because of that connection. And in order to learn blood magic, they had to get it through a demon. So I think that it's not as easy for people to interact with the Fade in the same way. So based on what I know, I might be wrong, I'm just a person. I don't think they can, because you need to be able to interact with the Fade in the way that only mages can. So I do think everyone has a potential to be mages apart from dwarves, because of their connection to lyrium for some reason stops that. But I do think that you need to be a mage in order to then get blood magic, because you need to make the deal with the demon who's stuck in the Fade. But that might be a problem if the veil comes down.
Yes, no, that makes perfect sense. You can't call up the demon. You can't get the demon on the line to help you out with your blood magic if you're not connected.
I guess if you could summon them, I don't know. Yeah, it's a fun question.
I don't think the other thing, to be fair, I don't think this is super clear even in the lore. I think your lore explanation was like probably the best possible one we could get.
I do just listen to YouTube videos on the lore while I'm supposed to be working.
Yeah, you are the lore master. Like, you know so much. It's really impressive.
The more you know about the lore, the more you're like, well, this bit of lore contradicts this bit of lore, and I'm just going to pick the bit I like.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about this too. That's very much like a lot of different things. Like there's a million versions of King Arthur and the Round Table. There's a billion versions of like a lot of different stories and tales and stuff. So it kind of works.
Yeah, it does. Do you think we will have other do you think we will have other big bads beside the elven gods like Titans or the Canary? You can go first.
Okay. I was really excited. Yes, I think we might have the Forgotten Ones. I think they might be showing up because... I
don't want them to be bad guys, though.
Oh, tell me more. Go. Talk about it.
Well, it's just because, to me, the Evanuris were the ones who, like, Solus banished the Evanuris and the Forgotten Ones. The Forgotten Ones were at war with the Evanuris, so we know that they were enemies. But they don't like Solus, so we understand why Solus wouldn't get them as allies, but he's not involved anymore. I don't care what he wants. So it feels like we could potentially get them in, because, I don't know, I don't want just to have bad spirits all the time, because what Solus is doing is also corrupting spirits to turn them into demons. That the reason that we get demons when they're coming through is because they're literally going insane because of the shock of coming into this world. So it's not good for the spirits. That's why Solus says that the spirits that he normally talked to fled, because they would have literally gone insane if they'd have stayed in the Fade near the breach. So I just think that there must be some spirits who would also hate the Evanuris and hate that people are getting insane all the time. But I don't know. I just want nice spirits.
Yeah, no, well, it's possible that we could, hopefully I'm not getting too tinfoily, but I think it's possible we could ally with the Forgotten Ones. And they would be against Solus, but they would be on our side. And we might, oh, sorry, go ahead.
You go. I will just talk. You talk. It's your turn. I'll stop.
Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Forgotten Ones. I think they could potentially be like good allies for us to an extent. I think we might learn more about them and find out. Right now, it seems like right now, what the Forgotten Ones or the Forbidden Ones we've seen in the game seem kind of evil. But I think we might learn more about them, and they might not be so evil after all. We might learn about their circumstances. They might be good allies for us. They'll definitely be against Solus, but what they can do for us and for Thetis, I think might be different than what we expect.
The other thing about the Forgotten Ones is that it's the same, like, source of material that says that they're evil is the same material that says that Fen'Harel's evil, because it's all Dalish lore. Yeah. We don't have any other entries of anything about the Forgotten Ones other than what the Danish believe, and the Danish beliefs are based a lot off what the Evanurist propaganda was going around, which was about what Solus and Fenrirel were doing. So I always take anything Danish when it says that they're bad. I'm like, Addy though, Addy bad, Addy bad. I mean, Solus has done terrible things, but he isn't giggling in glee in the corner of the world like it said that he was in that Codex entry that makes me cry.
He's crying. He's crying in his corner.
I did film me doing that Codex entry to the Lost Elf, and I was going to do an edit of just the sad faces. So I need to do that.
I would love that edit.
But yeah, I also think of other big bads, just Mythal. Forever. I've done so many videos on how I think Mythal can never be trusted under any circumstances and wants to shank her husband, and that's it. Do you have any thoughts on what Solus meant by Gil being the most sensitive of us? I can't pronounce people's names. I should probably be saying them, and I'm just not said anyone's names with questions, but I appreciate them all. You can go first.
Sure. So what does it mean that Gillinane is the most sensitive of us?
That's what Solus says in the scene with he has hair.
Yeah, in the hair scene. It was hard to concentrate in that scene, but yes, I do remember him saying that.
My video, I had to film so many times because he just kept getting distracted looking at his face.
And the hair animations are so good too. It's very distracting.
He looks so pretty. I love him. Anyway, that wasn't the question. The question. I'll just say
Gillinane was the most sensitive of us. I think that's a really interesting line. I think it really, she's coming across, what we see of her so far, she's very intimidating, and she's basically saying she's willing to do anything for power, right? To ascend to godhood. But Solus saying that line gives us a little insight that there might be more going on with her. That she might have lost herself along the way, that she might have been a different person at one point. So that's one thing I think about when I think about that line. The most sensitive of us, it could mean a lot of different things, but I think it's just it's rounding out Gillinane's character a little more, so we don't just see her as a monster. But I'll stop. I could yap forever, so I'm going to stop.
No, it's good. I do think it's interesting when Solus says that, because I am camp that Solus was probably a wisdom spirit, based on the trespasser stuff. So it makes me think if like Gil could have been a spirit themselves and they were like a spirit of compassion or something like that, or like nurturing, like because of her having to like, I feel it'd be really interesting if it was like a nurturing thing when you nurture things to grow, but then what she is nurturing has ended up being corrupted into this horrible thing, because it talks about her being dedicated to creation. So I could see that being this, she was dedicated to creation and creating these like things for the world, but then the things she started to create were getting more and more monstrous and bad. But yeah, I don't have any more thoughts.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I think she could have started off as like a scientist or a creator, and then in her quest for power, it got corrupted, and she took a turn.
Do we think what we've been told about Solus's memories are somewhat misrepresented, or he's hiding something? In my completely unbiased view of Solus, I think they purposefully put us in, I mean, I did say this in my video, that I think they purposely put us in as a memory of someone else who's there. Because at the crossroads, it says that it was spirits that were being sheltered by Fenrirel. And when Solus says that he sees memories in the Fade, it's a reflection of those spirits as plural. So I think it's not just him. I think there's other people who happen to be there's perspective that we're seeing as well. And I think it's the closest we're going to get to the truth. But I don't know. You could talk.
I definitely I think Solus is definitely hiding something from, I'm sure something will be misrepresented.
He's hiding stuff now. It's just if he's hiding things in the memories.
The memories is interesting because we are seeing them through other people's eyes, like Sarah was talking about. So I think that's trying to give us a more well-rounded view of what's happened. So we're not just seeing Solus's interpretation of events. So I think the memories might help us figure out what Solus could be misrepresenting.
Yeah, I think this is the way that we find out what he is actually keeping from us, because I think he is keeping things from us. He's the god of lies, treachery, and rebellion. He is keeping things 100%. He was keeping things from the Velen the entire time. I've had no illusion of who this man is. That's why I love it.
Yeah, so this is how we start to see, and I think it's going to give us seeing Solus through somebody else's eyes. And so we're going to see how Solus sees himself and then how other people saw him. So it's going to be really, really interesting.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it.
It's going to give us more insight into his intent as well. But anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Any headcanon about Solus's relationship with the other Evanuris before the fall of Alathan? You're big. You can talk first.
Okay, yeah. I don't want to be yapping too much here. Let me just see so it was what was Solus's relationship like with the other Evanuris before the fall of Alathan?
Before the fall of Alathan.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Well, we know that he was the champion of the gods. So he seems pretty enmeshed with the Evanuris. It seems like he was able to ascend through the ranks, be held in, like, was able to work his way up to a high status, or he held some sort of status. So I think he was on pretty good terms with them, or he at least knew how to work the system to get up to that level. So maybe it was through a relationship with Mythal, where she helped him ascend or get this position of favor. But I think he had to be on good terms with them at some point, I think, to become their champion.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I think that, especially because he says that they fought together. I'm going to make myself big for a second, if I can press the button. They fought together in the war, whatever the war was. I've presumed it's the Forgotten Ones, but I don't know. Who knows? It could be the Titans. We have no idea what random war he was referring to. But I think it was... So during that war, I think he definitely had a good, or at least some working relationship with some of them. I think probably he didn't get on with Elganon, is my guess, based on the stories that we know of Elganon, that he was very, very vengeful, and Mythal had to be the one to step in to go, you know what? Don't do a war that will kill a bunch of people for no reason. Just use 2 champions and chill out. And I think that those wisdom... those signs of wisdom that Mythal shared are things that why Solus would have looked so highly of Mythal, and their relationship dynamic just gives me Mother Gothel so bad that I want to know if I'm right. That is my headcanon, is that she's just Mother Gothel.
Might be.
So we'll see. Every time I touch the chat, it then scrolls down, so I have to go back up again. I think is the general assumption that all the other Evanuris are dead? I think they might be. I think they might be. I think killing the archdemons might have possibly been killing them, and I do think. Because there's a mural where there's only 2 lights lit up. Now that could just indicate that only 2 get released because it was part of Dreadwolf promo. But all the other lights are out. So to me it reads that they might be dead, the other Evanuris, but I don't know. Have you got any thoughts?
Yeah, juggling, I think there's 8 Evanuris, including Solus, or 9, including him. So that's a lot of gods to juggle.
There's 7 locked up, 8 with Mythal, 9 with Fen'Harel. I never count Fen'Harel because he was given Fen'Harel as a title because he was against them. So it's weird. But yeah. But there's 8 at least, 9-ish. Which is a lot. And then when you've got the Forgotten Ones as well as a separate pantheon, and then the Forbidden Ones, and then the Gold Gods, and then stop it. And they're all just spirits. It seems like they're all just powerful spirits. Just got different names.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're probably not around. They're either dead or not around, I would say. Just because it's so many different characters to juggle.
If they are dead, that could be one of the reasons why Gil just will kill everyone. Because if Andriel's dead, which is her lover. There's a picture of them together in the missing comic. I think that would be an interesting motivation of, you locked me up, and now my girlfriend wife is dead. I'm just going to kill everyone. Completely reasonable.
Yeah, like really push her over the edge for sure.
Anyway, hi guys, thank you for coming in. I'm just scrolling through questions. This is really nice. I get, like, it's really kind that people have dropped in to like watch us talk about Dragon.
Yeah, this is lovely. Thank you, everybody.
Do you think we'll get more lore about the Canary and the Koshith origins? Yes, I hope so. I mean, I've got the World of Thedas books next to me. And there's not a lot about the Canary in them. I think they were Gill experiments. Have you got any Canary lore theories?
Canary lore theories? No, I'm just trying to find the question.
It was if we think we're going to get any more Canary lore.
Canary lore? Yeah, well, I think we will, because through Tosh.
Yes. Yeah.
I think we're going to find out more about Canary and the relationship with dragons, which is going to be really interesting. So we're going to see, is Tosh a dragon, or is she going to ride a dragon, or what's going on with that? What are the Canary's relationship with dragons? That I think we'll definitely see in the VEILGUARD.
Yeah, I think so. I'm excited to see a less scary and creepy aspect of the Fade compared to the Nightmare Demon area. Yeah, I think it'll be nice to see. I mean, we've seen like the Crossroads before, but I think we'll get to see extra areas of the Fade. Definitely, I'm really excited about that.
Oh yeah, the Crossroads looks really cool.
It looks so good. I'm so excited to run around.
Me too. Me too. And the Guardian reminds me of Withers.
Yes, it does.
I wanted to DM Writhing Under Withers. I don't know if they're in here, but
if Solus was originally a pride spirit, why is he so doubtful about Cole becoming a person? I don't think he was originally a pride spirit. I think he was originally a wisdom spirit. And there's Trespasser dialogue that says that, which from Cole, which says he gave himself form because she asks, and then said about giving wisdom, he wants to give wisdom, not orders. So there's a big theory about that. And with Solus, I think that he didn't think this would be possible while the veil was in place. So I think that's why he's so shocked about Cole, because he didn't think it would be possible for a spirit to get a form when the veil's up. Because there's also references in the the Shattered Library about Birds of a Feather codex entry is one of my favorite codex entries in the game, because it talks about these two spirits who are like connected and like they give themselves forms to kiss, and they're in this like everlasting like knot, and then someone at the bottom tells them to get a room. But so I do think that it was possible, but because of the veil, he didn't think he could do it now, and that's why he was so surprised.
Yeah,
Spirit
that makes
lore
sense.
is my bread and butter.
Oh yeah, no, you're gonna know way more than me. But yeah, I oh sorry, go ahead.
You good.
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah, I think, did we talk about it, like the relationship between wisdom and pride, and like pride is like a corruption of wisdom? Did we talk about that?
We haven't talked about it. We can.
Okay. Yeah, so I think if there is a relationship between wisdom, spirit, and pride demon, it's that one that like pride is corrupted wisdom. I think.
100%. Yeah, I think it's corrupted. It's being away from their purpose, I think, is the way that there's multiple ways that it seems that like demons can manifest. So if you're in the Fade and you see a demon, Solus says, this is Solus stuff, so feel free to ignore it, that it will take on a form that you're expecting to see. You're not expecting to see a wisdom spirit, so it will take the form of a pride demon. But when it's in the material world, and we see this in Dragon Age Absolution, that there's a wisdom spirit that's called through and it's talking, and it turns into a pride demon because it gets corrupted from its original purpose. And we see it in Dragon Age Inquisition with Solus's quest. they drag it through and it gets corrupted from its purpose and turns into a thing, which I think is the symbology of Solus meaning pride, is because he is corrupted from his original goal to help people to now not.
Yeah, no, I think that's true. Yeah, there's something there too with wisdom and overstepping with wisdom, wanting to make decisions for other people because you're wise and you think you know you're right. That's like venturing into the pride territory. Because wisdom, yeah. If you acquire too much power and you're overstepping and making decisions for other people, that's when wisdom becomes, more sinister and has, you can really start to mess things up like Solus does.
So every time he messes things up. Do you think we'll be able to separate Lucanus and Spite without being able to kill either? I really hope so. You could go first.
Oh no, I'm actually torn on this. Dragon Age can get a little dark sometimes, and it likes to give us those tough choices. I hope that there's a way where we can have a not very sad ending there. I hope we can separate the two.
Yeah, I want there to be a way, because I think it's a really good analogy for the game about the whole spirit thing, because I'm so like, the veil isn't just affecting this world, it's literally affecting an entire group of people that have been cut off from the material plane because of one stupid bald man. So I just want a way for spirits to be able to exist without having to possess people, because it just seems really mean. So I really hope so, and I hope it's like the like step of doing that actually leads us to find a way that we can then extrapolate that to like everyone to make it safer. So maybe that'll be a thing, but I will be delusional about this until the game's out. Everything will be fine.
No, I actually think that's an excellent point about how like Lucanus and Spite reflects this broader theme in the game, and so like finding a good resolution there is going to reflect like finding a good resolution in the game. I think that makes a lot of sense.
I'm really surprised they've done it that we can see, like the player can see Spite, but the character can't. That's strange, because for a role-playing game to be meta like that is, because I will just take everything Spite says into account, but if you're role-playing, it's fair to just ignore him because your character can't see him, and it's a role-playing game. So yes, it's a weird choice, but I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how that works out. And it is interesting too, because like we can see Solus and interact with him, but nobody else really can.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, at least the character.
It's kind of like it's kind of a
like,
reflection
there's a few
of that
things
as well.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
What would be the opposite to spite? Forgiveness. Compassion?
I don't think there are perfect opposites to these things. This is where spirit lore gets a little.
I don't think it's Cole, but I'm just gonna say compassion just in case.
No, that makes sense. I think it will probably be a spirit we've encountered before. So,
how likely do you think that Solus has multiple endings?
Yeah, very likely. Sorry, I feel like I'm talking too much, so you can shrink
I'll talk for a little bit. I'll go big. I personally am very much in the believer that Solus will have multiple endings, because I think they pretty much said that in one of the Game Informer articles, that if you don't like, want to kick Solus off a building, thing, that there's like something for everyone in them. So I will be delusional about this until I play the game. I will not accept that I have to kill this man until I play the game. However, it's written by Trick Weeks, and if anyone's played Mass Effect, Trick Weeks was involved in writing Mordin Solus and Legion, and both of those characters have very tragic themes, and their endings are very, very... I'm not going to cry, but I'm worried. Oh, God. Go on, I'm done.
Oh yeah, no, we know me, and with Solace and Tragedy, that's all I ever talk about. So, but in all seriousness, I do think he will have multiple endings. I think there's probably, the way I see it, I see like there's going to be a good path, a bad path, and probably something neutral. So I do think he will have a good ending. That good ending is still going to be pretty tragic, I think, in my opinion. But in that good ending, he will not be dying alone. I think either
I think the Lighthouse Keeper ending is like a very, like, it seems across the fandom, the like Lighthouse Keeper or Atlas holding things or Loki ending is very, like, most people seem to be like not happy with that, but it seems to be a lot of people coming to that as some kind of like, he isn't like free to do whatever he wants because there has to be some kind of consequences to his actions, but he's not, you know, completely dead. And just like Loki, his wife Sigurd, like, is with him when he's like chained up, and I just saw the parallel between that and the villain, and I'm like, just do that, just do that. But what she does, what happens to Loki in that situation is really bad. So I don't want that.
It will be with a twist. It will be a little bit
slightly happier version of the actual Loki mythology ending would be delightful. Yeah.
No, I do think the Lighthouse Keeper ending is like spot on. I think we're going to see something like that for his good ending, where it's still tragic. He's just like you said, he's not himself, but it's not like devastatingly sad.
What do you think the role the Inquisitor will play? I've missed the question. Okay, what role the Inquisitor is going to play, and what is the reunion going to be like? You can go first, and then I'll go.
Okay, yeah, this is a big one. The role the Inquisitor will play. So just, I think it's not going to be a huge role. I don't think the Inquisitor is going to be another main character, but I think the Inquisitor will be very important. I don't think us solo villains will be disappointed. I do think they will take us into consideration, but they will balance that with like new players too. So I think the Inquisitor is going to have a medium size role, and it will depend on the relationship your Inquisitor had with Solus. Of course, that's going to influence it a lot. They won't just be writing for solo villains, but I do think there will be a satisfying line for solo villains, some satisfying options.
I think there's probably going to be at least a scene for solo villains because it's Weeks. Weeks is the lead writer, so I have faith that that'll be good. I do have like a point on this because it's the Inquisitor that sends Varric after Solus in the Missing comic. So I think with Varric getting hurt, that's probably the thing that's going to make the Inquisitor come back, because it's literally their, not fault, but they're the one who has sent Varric. So I think that that's probably how they're going to tie in, is because, oh shit, Varric got hurt because I just sent them off after a god. So yeah, that's why I think of like plot-wise, the Inquisitor is going to just rock up at the lighthouse at one point. Or because Solus was with the Inquisition for a very long time for him, like a year or two, but after waking up, that was a long time of being asleep, and his immediate thing is to spend like 12 months with this person. That Gil or Elganon might like kidnap them just to like mess with Solus. Even if like you had a bad relationship with Solus, they were still important to Solus in his like life, and he did still like save them. So it would indicate that Solus had some kind of caring. So it might be a way of Elganon fucking with Solus.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great line.
Or
yeah.
Gil. Or Gil.
Especially if Gil is mad that Andrew Wheel is dead.
Exactly, especially on that. I love that. So that feels very solo villain focused. What do I think the reunion's going to be like? Absolutely devastating, and I'm going to cry for about 20 minutes. Andy?
Yeah, it's going to be sad. What's really interesting to me is, so even with a romance novellan, with the Solus and romance novellan, people feel so differently about their relationship with Solus. Like, some people are ride or die, like me. Some people are really angry, and that's totally understandable. Some people might be in between. So how they handle all of those different reactions in one scene is
I'm wondering
really
if there's going to be. I mean, my pray is that we can take control of the Inquisitor because I want to.
Yeah, well, I think they have to do it that way because of all the different reactions I'm talking about. It sounds like the reaction wheel, right?
Unless
you need like a
tarot
happy
card that you can choose of your relationship with Solus as like a separate tarot card at the like start of the game, which is the interaction that you would choose at that point of the game. That's the only other way I could see them doing it, because if we don't control them, it's gonna be hard to get this right for everyone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is there any past characters from games or books or comics that you hope turn up? You can go first because you're big.
Any past characters from games? Oh, yeah. Well, I really want Hawk to show up, but I know we've been told that that's not going to happen. I hope they're lying. They're probably not. But Hawk and Fenris for sure. I would love to see them. I'd love Fenris. So I'm going to be a city elf mage shadow dragon. I would love if Fenris was involved in the shadow dragons. That would be amazing. So yeah, those are my two top characters I'd want to see return, I think.
Nice. I also agree 100% with Fenris. Like, if he isn't, it's literally hunting mages into winter. It'd just be rude to not have him.
Yeah. He has to be our fearless leader.
Same with Dorian, though. Dorian is literally, if Dorian is not in this game, I will demand a refund.
Yes, like Dorian has to be in it, and I would love to see him again.
But I'm literally playing a Lord of Fortune because I'm desperate to see Isabella. I love her so much. I love her so much. If we don't see Admiral Isabella in this game, I'm going to be so sad. But no, I love Isabella. Also, the Lord of Fortune costumes looked incredible. So I'm so happy.
They do. They're beautiful.
I will do a shadow dragon, but no, I'm going in hot as a Lord of Fortune just to see my wife, because I always do Hawk with Fenris, but I want to be with Isabella. Sorry, we have loads of questions. Oh my god, I just saw the time. I mean, we can keep going a little bit longer than we said for an hour if you want, Andy, or do you...
Oh yeah, I cleared my schedule, so I'm
okay,
good. I can be flexible.
Streaming at 6 p.m. this time, which is in another hour, so I'd have to wrap up in about 45 minutes, but yeah, sorry, I didn't think so many people would come. Thank you, that's really kind.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Okay, do we think they were who was created by the Emineris? The Canary? I think so. Old Gods? Also probably. I don't know. Well, if you want to ask that question again and tell us who you meant, I will answer it. I'm so far back based on these comments of when we were talking. Do you think the agents of Solus made a Valislin for him out of respect and loyalty? Jesus, that's a good question. Okay, I'm big. I'll talk first. I think that they could have done it out of respect, but he would absolutely hate that with every fiber of his being. But I think there's some agents of Fenharel that aren't actually working with him, but working like as that cause, and are doing things that he may not agree with. And I think that that's a possibility that we might see that. Have you got any other thoughts?
Yeah, I'm totally on the same page with you. I think I could see people doing that, or elves doing that. It would happen, but he would hate it.
If Solus and Abelas retained it, why not others? Their farms. Because I think that they had farms. So when the veil went up, I think if you were an elf, you stayed as an elf. And if you were a spirit at that point, you stayed as a spirit and you were just trapped either side of the veil. That's my theory on this. Why Abelas and Solus stayed immortal, I think is based on the fact that they both go into Euthenera, but I don't know.
Yeah.
You got any thoughts on that?
No, that sounds great.
Okay, cool.
Yes, I second that.
Okay. This is What's your thoughts on the Sarah being Andriel's vessel theory?
Sarah, me go first. Sorry.
Do you know about this theory? You're big. You can go first.
I have heard it. I know very little. I just know the surface. Sarah as Andriel's vessel. I think they could have been leaning in that direction at some point, because of what some dialogue that Sarah has in Inquisition. Some dialogue between Solus and Sarah is very, I don't remember the exact lines, but it's suspicious, the way Sarah perceives things.
There's lots of suspicious things about Sarah and Solus. Someone posted something about this today in my Discord server, and I haven't looked at it. I have a Discord server, random plug. If you're not in it, DM me, I'll send you a link.
Everybody join.
I personally think for Sarah's character, I don't want her to be Andriel's vessel, because the whole thing about Sarah is she doesn't want to be Elfie. And you know what? That's okay. It's fine. You should just not be Elfie. You'd be happy hating everything Elfie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I kind of don't want everything to just be, oh, it's the Everneris all along.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. Also, somebody sent me something, and I just want to say thank you so much. I saw something pop up. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. It's really kind. Sorry, I don't always see things if I'm looking at the chat, and I'm not being ignorant or rude. I just literally have not done this before. Oh, how did you both get interested in Dragon Age? Okay, I'm big. I'll go first. I started playing Dragon Age back in 2009. I was actually working at a video game store at the time, and I think I'd played Mass Effect first and loved Mass Effect, and then just went straight to Dragon Age, as you do. I just loved it, and it got me playing Dungeons and Dragons. There's so many things about Origins that if I hadn't have played that game, I wouldn't have in my life. So yeah, I just love the Dragon Age world so much. But yeah, just playing Mass Effect, and I just always love computer games. Spyro the Dragon was like the first thing that I really got into, and this had dragons. It's a username for a reason. Andy?
Yeah. So the question was how we got into Dragon Age. Yeah. So I just got into it last year. Actually, it was over the summer. I was playing Skyrim for like the 11th year in a row, and one of my friends was like, "Do you think you want to try something else?" And they suggested.
See, like, I was Oblivion. I went in from, I forgot Oblivion was 2006. So I was playing so much Oblivion and then got into Origins, and then Skyrim to Inquisition is such a, because the thing I love about, like, Oblivion's worlds are amazing, but I never bought the relationships as much in those, which with the BioWare games, when you have, I think the relationships are what I'm more drawn to these days for a video game.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, so, it was an intervention, basically, after I played too much Skyrim. And then they suggested Dragon Age, and I started with Origins. And I played all the way through, and I absolutely loved it. Nice. And then at the time... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I just said nice.
Yes. Yeah, so that's the short version of my story. But that's how I got into it.
Any thoughts on how Lucanus's and Spite's bonds are going to work?
Bombs? They have bombs?
Bond.
Oh, Bond? Oh, sorry. I was like, do they have a new weapon?
Hey, you do have bombs if you play that, is it an Artificer with the rogue class? Anyway, that's irrelevant. Yeah. Sorry. ADHD.
And someone sent me roses, I think, so thank you so much. I'm so sorry.
Thanks,
I'm Noodle Live.
Thank you for sending things. It's really kind.
Yes, it's incredibly kind. I appreciate it so much. I'm just trying to like juggle everything going on here. So thank you so much to whoever just sent me a rose and people who have sent me other things. Anyway, their bond, that's going to be really, really interesting. I think there's definitely going to be some tension there. I think there's going to be some conflict. Seeing them separately I'm wondering, it's interesting that only we can see Spite. But when I first saw them separately, I was wondering, like, can Spite just like go off and do things?
Yeah, I'd love that. I would have loved that. But yeah, no, I don't.
And
I
then
don't
they'll like
think
fight
so.
about it.
Yeah, I think that he can't interact with things because he's begging Lucanus to let him talk to Rook, and he won't. He won't let him. So yeah, I think they're going to be very antagonistic to start with, and then I'm hoping it'll get to something more like harmonious towards the end, and there's a way for, like I said before, to like help both of them. But yeah, it'll be. I'm so excited for that dynamic. I am so excited to see it because it's something completely new with spirits, which is amazing. I love it.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yes. Sorry, someone's asked a question of does anyone remember Fainriel? Yes, I remember Fainriel. We're gonna see him. There's such a funny quest in Dragon Age 2, which is this woman who is seen Fainriel in her sleep and is like going to go in to find her love from her dreams. And every single time I see it, it just reminds me of Llewellyn.
Yeah. Yep.
Right, that's Llewellyn. That's my Llewellyn. So it's... Do you think Fainriel could be one of Solas's agents? I mean, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
Sure. Yeah, I like that. Enchantment. If we don't see Sandal, I will cry. Do you think Tevinter adaptation... Oh, do you think the Tevinter adaptation of Andraste, her being a mage, is accurate or not? Sorry. Do you... I feel like I've been talking a lot. Do you want to go first, or shall I go?
I can take a crack at it. I'm going to have a shorter answer, I think, because you're the lore expert.
I do have an answer.
So yeah, I think it's possible that Andraste could have been a mage. I think that would make a lot of sense. Excuse me.
I think so.
That's like pretty much my answer.
Hey, Straw. Sorry. Yeah, I think definitely. So when the story is that when Andraste met the Maker after praying for help, and the Maker came to help them, and it definitely wasn't the spirit; it was the Maker. They were different things. Anyway, that a bunch of natural disasters helped Andraste, like with the rebellion. But I mean, I think it makes sense that she was a mage. It just does. I think that Tevinter like made a lot of stuff up, but I think that her being a mage does make a lot of sense for those natural disasters. But the Chantry would never give mages credit for anything, just like elves.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I still think that Solus is eternal, because I think his little face dropping when he saw Varric being all old. I think and he's also got a different like build and model to the other elves, same as Sarah, which is why the Andual Sarah thing exists. Yes. But his build is different. I still think he is an ancient elf. I might be wrong, but I think he still has got his immortality.
Yeah, I think that's right. I agree.
Sorry, I'm just keeping an eye on the time, and I keep. If I've missed questions, I do apologize profusely. Okay, that's when we're done. Spit slime. Interesting. I love Spyro the Dragon. It was great. Thoughts on Solas's new hair reveal? I did a video. With my reaction. You can see it on my page. I love it.
Yeah, I did one too.
Yes, you did. I love it. I'm so happy.
I have to say, hot take. I like the bald. I'm not gonna lie.
I prefer the bald.
Is my favorite.
I prefer the bald because I'm just used to
Me
it.
too.
I think. But I just like that we have options. I just like to have more content for edits that have the same bald face.
Yes, the variety is nice.
No, it's good. I if I had to choose, currently it's bald, but I might need to see it more which I don't have a problem
same.
with Fario's face as much as humanly possible.
Yep. Same. I'm in the same boat.
Oh, your DMs are bugged. I'm sorry. I will follow you and try and DM you later if you wanted to join the Discord. Haley. I can't talk. It's hard to say names. Well, they do have an ability. Abominate. Yeah, they're an abomination of a sort, but that word is chantry propaganda, and I don't believe in it. Do you think we will be seeing any more Evanuris besides Gil and Elganon? You can go first, you're big.
I know we were talking about the other Evanuris possibly being dead or not there. In the past,
Yeah,
I think,
agree.
for sure.
I think we'll see them in the past. I think we need to kind of give some context to them.
Yeah, but in the present, I don't know. Like we were talking about earlier, just my perspective, that's kind of a lot of characters to juggle in the current game.
You can't have an entire pantheon of gods as bad guys when you haven't had like one of them as a bad guy. Because I thought this game might introduce one. I wasn't expecting Odin immediately to walk up and be the problem. I'm surprised they went full, and it was like, oh, excellent, cool. Because I was expecting Dirthamin, because we have the Temple of Dirthamin in Inquisition. So I thought that was foreshadowing that, but no, we're going straight with Zeus. Excellent. Okay. So I don't know. I don't think again, I agree. And we might see references to, I think Andriel might be the one that we probably get the most references to now. Obviously Mythal. Mythal. Oh, someone asked a question that I definitely missed, which was, what do you think the role that Morrigan's going to play in the game?
Oh, yes, that was an excellent question.
I'll let you go.
Yeah, so Morrigan's definitely going to have an important role. I think Morrigan's going to be linked to Mythal for sure. I think it's possible that Morrigan has absorbed some part of Mythal. I do think Morrigan will still be herself and still be in control, because I do think that Morrigan's going to have a role in like ending Mythal's or Flemeth's cycle.
Yes.
That and breaking the curse, breaking the cycle of abuse. So. Yeah.
I hope so. And I cried playing Witch Hunt on my street. I put the VOD up because I love Morrigan so much. Like, I really wanted to romance her the first time I played. I was so sad she was straight. I was like, why? Anyway, so yeah, but when she says goodbye to you in the Witch Hunt to your warden, playing that this time, it really got me, because I don't think all these characters are going to make it. And I really want Morrigan to make it and be with the warden and have a happy ever after with Kieran somewhere. So yes, she's fine. She's gonna be fine. She'll be fine. I think
she'll triumph in the end. I hope.
I think Mythal is definitely gonna have an influence. I'm worried about how much of an influence. This might be the point that she actually does betray us. Like, because she never betrayed us in Origins, which might now. I'm really worried about it.
Yeah, I'm torn. Mythal will have some influence. She definitely won't want to betray us.
I think we're going to have a point that we're going to have to either choose between Morrigan and Solus, not for like life or death, like which one lives or dies, just as like a choice to make, and that choice might show which one is going to betray us, because I think one of those two is probably going to be like the betrayer. I don't think we're going to have a betrayer in the party. I think it's going to be external this time, because
that makes a lot of sense.
There's been lots of questions. Okay, if I've missed any questions, pop them in again, and I will try to grab them. The murals in Chunchi. Okay, yeah, okay, what do you think of the Maker and Andraste mirroring Solus and Lavellen theory?
I don't know if I heard this one.
That theory. So the Maker and Andraste being Solus. Oh, Right, because Andraste lives by the Maker's side at the end of their story. Is that the comparison? So yes, that's going to happen, and they're going to be fine.
Oh, I think Llewellyn will be by his side, all right.
One way or another.
One way or another. Yes, there will be an ending where Solus and Llewellyn will be together. I'm very convinced of that, for sure.
really
And I
hope
think will be like a bittersweet ending there too, where it is like Liebestod, which is like a love death ending, but with a twist. Where I think it's going to be a little happier than that, probably. I don't know.
I mean,
they could go full
Liebestod beyond. So even if they're like trapped in the Fade together, like we're living in the Fade kind of now with Rook. So if that becomes the like ending and like that's the death, is their being in the Fade together, I'm still happy with that. That'll do.
Yeah, I think they might not be themselves. Like there's a chance they might be transformed together into something else, like spirits, or there might be some transformation involved, or
that Birds of a Feather one where it's like two spirits kissing for like that's giving foreshadowiness.
Yeah, and the way they're intertwined as well. Yeah. Like they're really like he'll never be alone if they're fused together. But there's also a great myth in like Ovid's Metamorphoses, Baucis and Philemon, about a transformation of two lovers who don't want to be separated. They want to be together eternally, and they transform into two trees that are intertwined. So
that's cute. That Birds of a Feather is then very similar to that.
Yes,
I think.
Exactly.
Oh, I love that. Mm-hmm. That's cute.
It's very much like Baucis and Philemon, for sure.
Yeah. Who do you think the ancient elf is that Solus is talking to in the past? I'm guessing you mean the one that we're playing as. I'm guessing it's just a random person. But I don't know.
What if he has a family? What if he had a family? We just didn't know. No, I'm kidding.
They didn't mean to mind. I wanna. Do you think Leliana will have spies helping Rook? Shall I talk? I'll talk for a little bit. I feel like I'm in a little bit. The spies helping Rook, I think it's going to massively depend on if you disbanded or didn't disband the Inquisition, is how much help you get from them and how much help you might want from them. So I do, because the Inquisition is still there. I mean, that's the entire point of Varric and Harding being there, is that they have been sent by the Inquisitor and by the Inquisition to stop Solus. So I think that we will get more support from them. Yeah, I mean, I'm presuming it'll be spies or agents or whatever turn of phrase they use to call it. But yeah, we'll probably have some more crop up. Who? Maybe Charter? Because Charter crops up into Winter Nights. That'd be nice. Anyway, you got any thoughts?
No, Charter makes sense. That was like my only thought.
Sorry.
I could see. No. Your answer was perfect. Yeah, just Charter.
I appreciate your prayers, Azzy. Praying for the soul of Ellens.
Oh yes, thank you. We will need it.
I
am mentally preparing.
Oh, it's going to be horrific. Do you think we'll get to pick who was Divine, or a BioWare just going to cop out and call her Victoria? I think that'll be a choice in the tarot cards that we get to choose at the start of the character creator. I think that will come up. I don't know how much of an impact it will have. Yeah, I'm on the same page. I agree. Do you think Andraste as Methal's vessel theory and Andraste being born the same year of Dumat are related? I have done multiple videos on this. Yes. Yes, please talk about it. Oh, I can. This is a bit heavy. It's not that heavy. So Dumat's killed the same year that Andraste's born, and all of the other deaths of the gods, it tells you which Grey Warden killed them because they died, obviously. It doesn't tell you with Dumat who died, which Grey Warden died when killing Dumat. So it could be that was the original ritual that was done, and how Flemeth passed it on to Morrigan is because it was done before when Dumat died. So this is full tinfoil. This is not canon. And it's just really a coincidence, and it's really a coincidence. And the whole Andraste is a woman who is begging for help, and which is very similar to how Flemeth found Mythal. So in the woods thing, there's a lot of parallels. And I have got, if people want to know, DM me and I'll send you links to my videos where I go in more detail. But yes, the parallels are definitely there. Yes.
I second that.
Oh, I went too far. What if Llewellyn has a kid and Solus just stands there? I don't think she has a kid.
Not canonically, no. Headcanon.
Do we know? I think I'm up to date with the questions. So if I have missed anyone's questions, put it in the chat. And I'm actually like up to date with the questions now, which is good. It's 5:05. This is like a reasonable time. We have a bunch of questions that other people asked on comments as well. Do we know if the tarot is only inky choices or for Dragon Age Origins and 2 as well?
I don't know.
I'd love it if you did. Go on, we'll follow it because we don't have another question. But if you could have any choices from Origins or 2 that you could pick, what choices would you want to carry over like the most?
Definitely who was in the Fade. I want that to matter. Who went into go move in with a nightmare demon. I really want that to matter. So that would be probably my top. What other choices? Yeah, that's the first one that comes to mind.
I like who killed if Kieran exists, I'd like that to matter. About how you killed the totally demon. I feel like that is like the one choice from Origins. I mean, I don't think it really even matters who's king at this point, but I would like to know if Kieran exists in a world state, again, especially from Oregon. I want the Warden to be fine, but that's not really a choice. In Dragon Age 2, yeah, I can't think of many choices from Dragon Age 2 that I think would potentially matter for Veilguard. I might be other than Fainriel, hopefully, which we've already mentioned, who's into Vinter. And obviously, because even if you do the worst thing in the game, and I don't even want to mention it, that's giving Fenris back, he's still into Vinter, and he can just free himself now. Right? There is no world state. I don't care. This is my problem with Dragon Age 2, is that you could kill your companions far too easily. Why did they do that? Do you think our companions might fight over how to deal with Solus, or just listen to Rook?
I think we'll fight over it for sure. I think that's going to we'll have to be persuasive, I think.
Yeah, I think they'll have opinions. I think we'll be able to ignore them.
Probably. I mean, from a game, yeah. What gets me is when they say, it sounds like companions are going to have more agency this time.
Yes.
Because they can go off and do their own thing. So that makes me wonder if the conflicts, we can't ignore them as much because the characters will just go off and do something. So that's what I'm wondering about. I think there will be disagreements. And I keep thinking about Lucanus and like, is he a wolf killer? Is he a spy? Like, what's his deal? Is Spite a forgotten one and he wants to go after Solus even if you don't? I'm very curious about all of that.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm the same. I think it's going to be interesting to see how they do. And they won't trust. Why would you trust him? Like, I know why I would, because I'm dumb. But I don't know why other people would trust him. So it's going to be really interesting if you just. I mean, he does so many stupid things. So many stupid things. That at this point, why would you listen to anything he has to say other than the fact that he was like the only person involved with the Evaneris in the first place? But he seemed so done with this shit by the end of that conversation that he might just be like, fuck it, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm really curious. I wish I could see Veilguard through a new player's eyes. I'm carrying
because I can't. I'm so biased. I'm the most biased. What do we think about the state of Varric? Thank you, AZ. I just opened up the questions document that I had post Stabbage. So AZ has a theory about whether or not Varric is like in a half fade state that they did. Have you got thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, I think that's a great theory. I think that makes a lot of sense. I would not be surprised if we saw that, and that's going to mirror some of the other themes in VEILGUARD as well. And like Varric's fate could be wrapped up in like the fate of in this solution we'll have to find about the veil coming down or not. If that makes sense.
See, I'm really hoping they do that as some way for us to be motivated to find a way for the veil to come down. Not even down. Like, even if there was... I've talked about this before with my semi-permeable membrane theory, where I would, like...
That is such a brilliant theory. I love that theory.
And, like... And the VEILGUARD, I've not done the video yet, but the VEILGUARD I want as like the white blood cells and the mitochondria and the titans. I did biomedical science at uni. I've got a whole like cell-based theory.
It's so good. It's brilliant. I love that theory so much. It's so good.
I do think that Varric will have some link to the Fade now. 100%. Even if it's just the ability to dream, I think it makes sense. I also kind of want it though, because I see Varric, which I've said before, as the kind of everyday man of Thedas perspective on like things like spirits, because he doesn't understand. He has no connection to the Fate. He's a dwarf. He literally has only encountered demons apart from Cole. So I kind of like want that perspective to be kind of shown through Varric of it maybe changing over time and him being more accepting to like spirits and things. Because I think that like Cole's questline, I will just reiterate things I've said in other videos, is kind of that state where Solus and Varric are, but just worse. Like Solus is not right in what he's doing. His perspective is awful, but like that is kind of mirrored in some ways, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the only other question I had was how do you think that people put on my page was how do you think humans came to be in Thedas?
And then I have two questions for mine.
Neve, Valara, Emmerich will use their experience as mages to help Lucanus. That was the one you sent before, wasn't it? I've got the PDF up.
Yep. Yep, and there's another one from...
what approaches do you think? I'll stop talking.
No, sorry.
You're okay.
Sorry, which question are we on?
Let's do the, how do you think humans came to Thedas?
Yeah,
this is
I'm
your
wondering
question,
about this.
Kyrie Wolf. How do you think humans came to Thedas? Can you hear me? Yeah, you. Sorry, I'll make you big.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, it's a great question. I don't know. I've been meaning to go back and look at the timeline, the overall timeline of how things...
It's a mess.
Fit into...
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, because I cannot... I don't know
these books to get answers on these questions, the World of Thedas books, and I still don't know. No idea. Human clans existed in some ways when the elves were around, possibly, but it was like, you know, like Dorian has a line where he says about Dalish clans not going up to Tevinter because of slavery. So I think it's the same thing with human clans with the Evanerius. They were just like, I'm not going down there. They're fucking crazy. So I think it was just, they were just separate and maybe further north and then came down, I think is the current law, but I wouldn't go near where the crazy enslaving elven people were either. So do you think Neve, Balara, Emmerich will use their expertise as mages to help Lucanus with his situation? That is a good question. That was one of the questions that was sent on your channel.
Yes, yeah, it's a really good question. I think, yes, I think they're going to try and figure it out. I don't see why they wouldn't. I'm curious about Emmerich's role.
Yes. Emmerich's going to be really interesting because he works really closely with spirits. So I want to take Emmerich and Lucanus out like all of the time.
Yes, and with the Mortalitazi having this ritual where they can like summon spirits to inhabit bodies and like all that expertise Emmerich has, I'm super curious about if he'll use that to help out with Lucanus' situation.
Yeah, I think Balara as well, because as a veil jumper that she goes into the Fade more often, that it's likely that she'll have some kind of interaction with like spirits more often, and then hopefully that will then reflect, if that makes sense. So she'll have some experiences that she might be able to help Lucanus with. It's hard to form sentences. Thoughts on if we can romance Elganan? We can't romance Elganan. I don't believe we could romance Elganan.
That would be interesting.
I'd love to flirt with him just once.
Oh yeah. Oh, me too. I'll take all the flirt options.
Oh yeah, someone asked a question about the romances and what impact they're going to have that aren't the Solar Velen ones. I think that they might end up, I don't know, I'd like it to, if it's Dorian, he's going to be in the game. So you'll see him 100%. This is not confirmed. This is Sarah's delusion. The others, they'll get a mention, like Hawk with Fenris. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the other romances. I mean, if the Inquisitor's coming back and they might comment. An Inquisitor who's romanced other people might comment on the state of that. We might have that option. I could see that, but I can't imagine. Or, yeah, that's what I'm thinking of offhand. And then if Fenris is there, maybe. Hawk reference, but...
Hopefully. What's the craziest theory you've heard about VEILGUARD? I don't know.
The craziest... I'm totally blanking.
I've heard that people keep presuming that there's a sword in one of the trailers. This isn't a spoiler because I don't think this is true. But there's a sword. It's one of my mutuals DM me about this, and I'm talking about you if you're here. There's a sword that's thrown on a table by Rook, and people think that that's the hero of Ferelden's sword. But mine was a rogue and used a bow, so they didn't have a sword. So I don't think it's that. I think that's a bit. Oh, thank you. That. I don't think that is the case. I think that that's a bit wild to see someone throw a random broken sword at someone and immediately go, the hero of Ferelden's dead.
That is wild.
No, let's be a little bit optimistic that they're okay. Also, if they're dead, it'd be from the blight. I don't even think they'd have a broken sword. They're just dead. To clarify to those not familiar, okay, AZ's theory is really, really good. Go and watch their video, follow them. Their takes, for a person who isn't a Solar Velen, they don't want to get completely biased views. Go and follow their account. Especially if dwarves are getting back their own connection to the Titans. How do you think the Titans might affect VEILGUARD? Go on, you can go first.
Okay, what role are the Titans playing? I think, so they'll definitely come up in the past. I'm pretty convinced. Because of the death of a Titan mural. And so there's going to be that conflict with the Evanuris there with the Titans. I think the Titan hearts are the orbs. And there's some sort of connection there based on what we see with the new mural from the lighthouse. Like it's too closely connected. So yeah, I think at least we'll see the Titans in the memories in the past. Oh my gosh, how can I be free? Harding. Oh my gosh, how did I blank on Harding's name? I think Harding might have. I think this is Sarah's theory that she might have Titan magic or like that blue lyrium connection is back. That might be related. I mean,
lots of people have mentioned that the lyrium is related to Titans because it's their blood. I did a theory that was based on I think magic is getting awoken in people, and in my little theory it was saying that because, like, Fenris, when his powers are like awoken by that weird sarcophagus thing, he becomes more incorporeal, because I think it's related to elves having a relationship with spirits, which is why we don't have half elves, which is a dumb as a lore thing. It's lazy, but it's like the reason. And I think that the awakening of the magic is giving them that connection back to the stone and giving them stone magic. But lots of people have mentioned about Titan magic and sandal and things. So. And I think it might be why Tash might be able to breathe fire, if there's like magic being awakened in people. The Kunari having that dragon magic awakened in them might be coming through, because more magic is coming into the world. I do think that the Lyrium mining facility, I've not mentioned Mythal for a little while, that was Mythal's, really, really rubs me the wrong way. So she's the first ever nurse to start mining lyrium from Titans, which, you know, is their blood that she's just carving straight into. That's nice. Really trust this woman. But something is released by doing that. That's one of the codex entries that says the Evernuris in their greed have released what the Evernuris have released in their greed will kill us all. And so something with the Titans, it's weird, and I don't trust it. There was going to be a sentence there somewhere, and I just gave up. Right, we've got 10 minutes. Do you think his lack of chest hair makes him more weak to stab damage?
I saw that. It was so hard not to laugh.
Yeah, it's funny.
Thanks, Andy.
I like the theory that an elf and a dwarf fell in love. I don't know what they're talking about. Would they still have more magic-y? Would they still have been more magic-y before the veil? Are we talking about dwarves? I think that the dwarves get their magic from Titans, but their connection to Titans has been cut off. But that's being reawakened somehow, possibly through their blood. I don't know. It's not a fully formed theory. Mike, in the Blue Wraith comic, the comic that Fenris is in, there's a comic that Fenris is in, and you see the transformation in which Fenris gets his powers, and it uses this weird sarcophagus. Half elves are real to me too. Like, okay, I think we're up to date. Blue Wraith, yes, I knew you'd know.
Number one Fenris defender would know.
Exactly. When in doubt. Okay, cool. I think we're up to date with questions, and my voice is starting to go, and I do have to do a stream for 4 hours after this. So we might wrap up if that's okay. I might stop talking. Yep. Is that okay? But yeah, thank you everyone for coming. We should do this again. Do you want to do this again?
I would love to do this again. This was so wonderful. Yeah, thank you so much.
We'll do it in a couple of weeks. We'll just talk. We could have more people.
Yeah.
We can have like multiple guests and do things. If this was fun, that. Yeah, I hope this was fun.
This was so much fun. Thank you. I feel like you're doing all the work. I just had to show up. You made it easy.
Oh, good. But yeah, thank you everyone for coming. This was really nice. But yeah, thanks. We'll hopefully do this again soon. I don't know when. I'll put things on the TikTok. Follow people.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.